In this video, we're going to talk about speeding up your post-production workflow with PostUp. Jeremy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So tell me about PostUp.
So PostUp, we're taking everything from the set and getting it into the edit, but supercharged, faster than anything you've ever seen.
So yeah, walk me through, what does this workflow look like?
So at the end of the day, I can tell you about it or I can just show you.
Yes.
I'll give you the preface though. Effectively, we've reimagined how you can handle post-production as far as storage and the data. And that way we took it really down to that DNA level of rendering. The first product that we've come out with is essentially an automated workflow for generating dailies and proxies.
Okay.
Typically, and the amount of footage we're going to process right here, right now, might take, give or take, a half an hour. Mm-hmm. We're going to do it in about 75 seconds.
Okay.
Now, that's because we're taking the Mac Mini. This is just an off-the-shelf Mac Mini, nothing crazy. We're accelerating that from what would usually be around a 50 frames per second render. We're pushing this to 320 frames a second, just with our software.
This is happening locally?
Yes.
This is
all
not
locally.
a cloud. This is not, you're not.
No, we're not on
the cloud.
No internet connection.
Okay.
No Wi-Fi.
So
nothing up my sleeve.
All right.
I can't tell you how many times we're like, "Hey, we can do this super fast," and people are like, "No." What's the
I was
trick?
thinking like, yeah, you could upload to the cloud and you have as many GPUs as you want. Yeah. Okay. So all right, how is this? What's happening?
So, well, let me take you through it.
Yeah.
So we've got a camera card there. Mm-hmm. I go over here and I'm going to click Start New Ingestion. There's my camera card. Now, prompts you just like any DIT software. Is this footage? Is this audio? Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hit Start, and this isn't. We're not reinventing the wheel here, but it is a pretty solid ingest. It's generating all the checksums, just like any other DIT software.
Yeah.
But what the real power is after we import this R3D, it's raw media, 4K video, 2:1 from a Komodo Dragon, my buddy's short film. The processing is really where we start to accelerate the workflow.
And so it's copying it, and then it'll start making the proxies?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go in and we'll actually set a couple of preferences in terms of the watermark, the LUT, what are we going to apply to this, and then we're going to point to, hey, here's our destination. Proxies could go to the editor. The dailies could go to flow capture, pics, frame, whatever you're using. We can store them locally. So really for us, it's about how can we take these supercharged AI tools, put them in the hands of the filmmaker, but keep the filmmaker in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
I tell people who aren't in the industry, PostUp is like if you're a carpenter, you've only used a screwdriver ever. PostUp is a power drill. Uh-huh. You're still in control. You're still the craftsperson. It's not right click, make movie. Right? It's a little bit more nuanced. That's really what we're here for. So here's the R3D media. It's about 90 gigs, just about 6 minutes worth of footage. Got a bunch of audio files as well. But where it gets interesting is when we start to process things. So we're gonna make some dailies and proxies right now. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, choose a LUT. These are just a couple of different presets that we've loaded, different LUTs that we've loaded.
Let's say a warm punch.
Warm punch. And then if you were going to build a watermark, say you want the scene and take information on the top left.
Okay. Or
you want the time code, bottom right, etc. These would go to the studio, to the director, just to see what was on set.
Yeah.
But instead of it taking hours, it's going to take minutes if we were doing a full day's worth of footage. Just to make it fun, our center, middle for the watermark, pick a word, favorite color, favorite song.
We would just put VP land.
You got it. Cool. Save and close that. Now let's start processing. Okay, so there's day 1 that we just did the ingest for. We'll go ahead and select those, hit process. And now, completely automatically, we're gonna sync all the sound. That's based on time code, and then it does a waveform check.
Okay.
So, hey, is that there? And then we have an agentic workflow. It's going to say, is that actually in sync? Yes, cool, proceed, not flag it. Later, we're working on an agentic model to actually correct that.
Do the offset.
For now, it just says, hey, this is out of sync.
If you don't have time code, you just have waveform, will it work?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it can still do that?
Precisely. And then, since this is R3D media, we all know that kind of log look of R3D when it comes out of the camera. It's going to process that and colorize it with the LUT that you just chose. But then it's going to take all the metadata. You notice there was 4 text files. Those are our reports. Sound report, camera report, the camera metadata itself, maybe the script report. It will then take all that data, aggregate it into an ALE, and generate an Avid file for a timeline. That goes to the assistant editor.
Okay.
But then we're going to take that same metadata, burn it into the dailies. The dailies are rendered out in H.264 720p, and the editorial proxies are rendered out as ProRes 422, 1080p.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned Avid. Can it integrate or give you like XMLs for other NLEs?
Yep. We try and stay completely agnostic. Any workflow, one platform. We let you and the filmmaker really decide the workflow. Let's accelerate that. We don't need you to change your process. And humbly, I think that where the industry is headed, we need to embrace people's process. They're the creatives. Let them be creative. How can we sharpen that and streamline it so that it's just faster?
Yeah. Is this all running locally?
100%.
Okay.
Yep.
So I can run a browser, but would this be an app or is there some?
Yeah, so we can run it in the cloud.
Okay.
We can run it locally. This is just the beta version of our app.
Because you're in a dev server, right?
Yep.
Okay, but this would normally be an app that's running
Correct.
locally on your computer.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And you're demoing on a Mac Mini, but then if you have beefier machines, how much more power can you unlock?
So we have 2 other processing nodes. One in Burbank and one in Portland, Oregon. Those are super powered. In fact, recently we processed 21 and a half hours of footage, synced, colored, grouped into Avid, all the metadata, QC'd in 12 minutes and 40 seconds. We're pretty proud of that one. That was 2,500 frames a second.
Yeah.
So that's 6, 48U racks of servers.
Yeah.
To that effect, though, that's why we're able to service some major studios already. Paramount, Amazon MGM, HBO. Those are not easy in terms of security compliance. Mm-hmm. That's where we need that extra firepower. Yeah. Now, but if you've got a workflow and a small setup at home, great, we can supercharge that. We'd like to say, hey, you bring the car, we're just a better brand of gasoline.
Yeah.
Any production that uses a camera, we can help. Can't help animation, for example. That's down the road. I think we've got something in the works. But if you have a music video, documentary, a major studio episodic, if you're a post supervisor, particularly the post supervisor, I'd say, has that bird's eye view of what's happening. We're a great fit for that. But at the same time, hey, if we're going to be that better blend of fuel and we can accelerate things, then a post facility, post finishing, that's a natural fit for us as well.
And then you mentioned this was kind of your first product, so is there other stuff out, pipeline for other things? I saw this, right, I'm like, okay, where are we going with the mastering archival? I know we're here. Built out? To come?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have working versions of it. The beta platform, we've just released this at NAB, and the first step has been the dailies and the proxies.
Nice.
But we're following the pipeline all the way down.
And then do you have pricing and availability for the
I have to
dailies?
invite you to our beta program.
Okay.
At the end of no, it's a great question. So we're in the process of developing that.
Right.
Effectively, one thing that we're very passionate about is that there tends to be this, let's call it a mentality around pricing. Oh, there's an overage. That's going to be an extra $100 because of this. Oh, we didn't know about this other thing. All of a sudden you get the bill from the lab or post facility, and it's like, did we know about this? How did this happen? Effectually, we want a flat rate. We're going to take the data in, use that as one flat pricing, so that you don't have these surprises. In that way, it's usage-based, so you have seats plus storage, and then you have the actual usage that you're doing the processing on.
Okay. Where does the storage come into play if you're running everything locally?
Just whatever you're storing in the cloud.
Okay, and that's if you want to. Right?
Correct.
Okay,
yes.
So like you don't have to do
No,
cloud
absolutely
stuff
not.
on this process. Like if I just wanted to move my cards to a connected drive,
Yep.
process the dailies there, it could all just stay local.
Yeah.
Okay, we finished.
720p for the dailies, 1080p for the proxies. The dailies are H.264s, and the proxies ProRes 422. But seeing is believing. There they are, VP land. The LUT you chose. You can hear it, the sound is synced.
Yes.
We've got the metadata burned in, as well as your watermark. So footage. Also got the proxies. Much larger file. Uncolored, no watermark. Those would go just straight to your editor, to your AE. Your file transfer of choice. Also give you a dailies report. Automatically generated. There's all the metadata.
Yeah.
You have a post soup, the studio.
Yeah.
You get a record of it all.
And then you can also get that Avid bin or a string out or whatever you wanted.
Yep. And then you get the Avid timeline, Premiere, XML, the ALE. Really, that's where we take the workflow that exists, and we're going to accelerate that.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great to meet you, Joy.
Appreciate it.